Well, hello, and welcome to Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading Channel with Charlie B. So, what are we up to today? Well, I'm going to answer that age-old question, what's for dinner? So, I've already got some of my stuff sitting back there. So, tonight we are going to be making some beef stroganoff. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I made a pot roast earlier this week, and I'm actually going to use the leftover meat from it. And if you want to, you can take a look at the pot roast that I did before when I said about using freezer burnt meat, and I will put this I'll put the other video at the end of the video on one of the end cards. So just hang on and let me get you over there so I can start making it, show you what I'm doing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my burner and throw some butter in the skillet. And I'm going to saute up some mushrooms just in some butter to make it taste better. That's a good 2 tablespoons worth of butter, but it also depends on how much you are cooking and going to use. And what I'm using is one of these whole sliced mushrooms, and it is 4 ounces. So I've already drained them. I'm just going to dump them in here. Yeah, there is a little bit of juice still on them, but that's all right. Now that's my meat that's in here that I just pulled this out of. Just going to let this melt and get it sauteing. And we'll be back in a little bit. So I've been sauteing these mushrooms here. That right over there. They're looking good. And my next item of business, I'm going to go ahead and put in about 2 cups, a little bit more maybe than that, of the broth that I used or that I got from my leftover pot roast. Now there is a little bit of fat in this, but that's all right. I skimmed off some of the fat, and when I cold the liquid in the refrigerator, it got kind of all over the rim of and all over the sides, which I tried to do that to get some more of the fat off. So I wouldn't have all the fat going in there. And I also skimmed some more off in a bowl. Okay, so I'm going to let this come to a boil, and we will be back. So we got our broth with our mushrooms in here boiling. Our next item up is going to be 1 cup of heavy cream. Let's not try to use that. Let's use the spatula instead to clean this out. And because we want our sauce, at least I do, I want it to be thick. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of flour, have it in a cup, and I'm just going to take enough water to just cover this flour in here, just a little bit, so it'll be very, very thick. And I'm just going to stir it all up right here like this, trying to make sure I don't get any lumps in it. And you can see how thick. It's almost like a paste. Now you can use cornstarch this way, or you can also use arrowroot for a thickener. If you're doing a keto version, arrowroot would definitely be better than cornstarch or flour. So then I'm going to stir my cream up in with my sauce. And I'm going to slowly pour in my flour water mixture. Stir that around. I'm going to let this slowly cook a little bit. So this will take a little bit of time for it to thicken. And we'll come back to this. Okay, so we've got this boiling and it is thickening just a little bit. And our next step is to put our leftover pot roast in here. Just going to spoon this in so I don't splat it everywhere. Now, last time I made pot roast, I did add a little bit of mushrooms into this, and it definitely had onions and all the good stuff. So you'll have to take a look at that video, like I said, how I make my pot roast normally. Going to get this mixed in, and then I'm just going to let it slowly cook. Turn it on simmer, let it cook, and I'm going to get the noodles on. And I'm going to do a different type of noodle. And just hang on, we'll be back. That looks good. Okay, so now when I do my pot roast, I did a little bit of wine in it already. And so I'm just going to put another little splash of red wine in here. Now you can use cooking wine or cooking sherry, whatever you want to do with it. Okay. Just kind of gives it a good old taste, and plus it makes the color of the sauce interesting. So I'm going to let this simmer a little bit more. Now, when I said a splash of red wine, that was probably maybe 1/8 of a cup. I mean, if I really wanted to be heavy-handed on it, it would be 1/4 a cup, but I didn't put that much in it because I had already put it in my pot roast when I went to cook it. So I'm going to change up my beef stroganoff. I'm going to switch out the noodles to 4 cheese ravioli because I found them on sale. So I'm going to pop these open and put them in some water to get them cooking. Going to taste yummy. So we'll get these cooking, and I will be back when these are done and in. I'm just cooking this to the package. When I get these out, get them in with the sauce, we will start from there. Okay, so I strained my ravioli just like I would normally strain them and got the water out. And now I'm just going to slide them into the beef stroganoff sauce. Yep, my mouth is watering again. It looks good. Let's stir these guys in. Get some meat up on top. Some of a nice sauce on them. Just kind of fold them in without destroying the noodles because I don't want to destroy them, don't want to tear them apart. And we're going to get a plate here. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so this is the beef stroganoff. This is my plate. The picture was actually of my husband's plate. So let's give this a taste test. Favorite part of cooking and making videos about what's for dinner. Very hot. Now remember, this was pot roast before I turned it into beef stroganoff. Very, very, very good. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Now this is a little different how I make this than if I make it just plain up beef stroganoff, but this tastes amazing. And it's a different menu item whenever you have leftover pot roast. So remember, if you like my content, like, share, and subscribe. Charlie B signing out. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. Be seeing you soon.